This is the website that you log into. It's the scottishfalive.co.uk/SYFA, and when a team secretary logs in, they'll get a screen a wee bit like this, in which they have to add their email address and their password provided by the SFA, which is 5 letters and 3 numbers. This is why it's important that each individual official has their unique email address, because it's important when they're going to use the facility. If they forget their password, they can do a password request reminder, provided they did the validation correctly and answered all the questions, or they can simply ask their club secretary to reset the password for them. The club secretary can reset a team official's and a club official's password by going into System Users, which is the same place as they set their level of access within the system. We then click on Teams within the header, and your club name will be at the top here, where you'll be able to go into Teams, and you'll see the teams here that this club have available at the moment. Since this is a test club, we only have one. We have the SYFA Reds 2007s, and if we wanted to add new teams as a club official, we could add a team here and add in the information required. To go into the club, we go in the blue box beside the team name, and this will give us the officials of that team. So we click on the officials and we get the officials here, and we check that the officials for the team are all there. So all the people who are involved with your team should be on this list. To add new officials to this team, then you would, at the bottom left hand corner, which is just outside the visibility, you'll be able to see here the ability to add a new official. And when you add a new official, you would then be able to pick from the drop-down list of the club officials that are available. So if the person you're going to add to your team has not been added by the club secretary, then you have to ask the club secretary to add them, and then they will become available in the drop-down list, which will come when you press the button. You're required, if possible, it's important that you remove all officials which are no longer part of your team, and this is done by the removal button at the right hand side. Other things, and there shouldn't be any left, but if you find that you have a child wellbeing officer listed in your team, can you change their title or just remove them? You either add them again with a different title and then remove them, but child wellbeing officer is someone which requires to go on a course, and if you hold that title you have to attend the course. So the club child wellbeing officer would attend the course and teams would report to them. Again, adding officials are there. If we have people with 2 red stars in this area, we would have to go into the View Official button and update their details so that they end up with an email address in there. If there's no email address, the team official can't act or do anything on the system. We do the same with all the levels to check they're all there. Once they are the same and done, you move on to the next double red star in your email list and go through that and make sure everyone has an email address available there. The next one we would then click is membership, and we can then click the box and move in to team membership. We check the season at the top, we check the age group. Now please don't change the age group for your team, because this will create a new team and will cause problems within the system. Select the league you're playing in. That can vary, so you may move leagues between seasons, so that would be check the league that you're selecting. And the league age group, especially at Soccer 7's level where they're playing on a different day, because of the new ability for a team official to act in two different teams, they play at different times on different days. and this will allow this to happen. Membership is full for all members of the Scottish Youth FA, and you select the insurance, and if you want to see which policy you want to take, if you click the View Insurance Comparison, you will see the two values and what you get for the £37 or the £212. You then confirm and continue, and this will then give you into step 2, which is the officials. You'll be able to then look again at your officials. Again, this child wellbeing officer will not be a child wellbeing officer. This team official will only hold 2 positions. You can be the team secretary and the first aider, or the team secretary and the coach. You can't hold all 3. And it says assistant coach here. This was initially what we were calling it. We now call it coach assistant, because an assistant coach means that you are a coach and have qualifications, whereas coach assistant means you could be moving towards qualifications and moving towards getting your coaching badges. So we feel that coach assistant is better, as you don't need any qualifications, but you do need PVG. All members of a team require PVG. There is some confusion between club secretaries and team secretaries. A team secretary requires PVG. A club secretary may not, if that's the only position they hold. But we'll talk about that more later on. And then you click confirm and continue. The admin steps, if you've done your admin steps earlier on by putting in the people who are going to be administering discipline and general administration. At Soccer Sevens, the Scottish Cup is not a compulsory because you don't have Scottish Cup, but at 11-a-side that would be compulsory. Confirm and continue. You then can add where your home ground is. This is an optional, it's not required, but if you want to add a venue, if you play the same place every week, you may want to add it there with the postcode, etc. And that would allow people to do sat-nav, etc. to find your pitch. So confirm and continue again with strip colour. You can either put in your colours or you can select the colours supplied by the club. If the club all wear the same type of strip, then that would be brought in there as well. The changes take effect immediately and is not an option that is required. We then come to review details, and this is where you have a wee chance to check you've done everything correct. You've got the season, you've got the age group in the league, it's a Sunday morning team, you're a full member, you've taken the enhanced insurance, and that Scottish Cup saying yes would be for an 11-a-side team. That's not normal for and will not be there in 7-a-side teams. So you've checked the details, you can check the officials' details, ground, everything is correct, and then you click confirm and continue. And this will bring you to the checkout, and in the checkout it shows you the costs that you have to pay. So your membership is £36, your insurance is either 37 or 212, and Scottish Cup entry is only for 11-a-side teams. You then select the payment method. If you choose invoice, you will get this screen in which it tells you that your application to join the Scottish Youth FA has been successfully submitted. This membership application will then go to your League Secretary, who will check over the details, and if they agree, will accept or reject your team. If they accept it, it sends it to the SYFA at Hampden, and then we would then administer the rest. You have the ability here to click and download your insurance invoice, either the Adobe PDF, and if you don't have Adobe PDF, you can download Adobe PDF. But you'll also notice your invoice has been sent to the registered secretary of that team by email. You must select the type of it. If you decide to select online, then we go to SagePay. It tells you at the top here how much it's expecting you to pay. You then select the type of card you're going to use, and then you fill in the details. Now, if it's got a red star after it, there must be an entry in that line. So if there's not an entry, SagePay will reject it. So if there's no something with a line without something in it, it will reject it. So put in your card number, your name, first name, surname, expiry date on your card and the code on the back of your card, and then your address. And just check your address is filled in properly, and then you can proceed to the next step, and the step then would give you the card details, which shows you it's been Visa, it shows you the secretary, it gives you his address down here and gives you the information required. You then can pay now at the bottom, and on some occasions it may require card authentication, so sometimes it goes to there, sometimes it misses this one straight. You then come to confirmations. Your payment has been approved, the club has been successfully submitted. You'll receive confirmation of membership once the application has been approved. It's got the Sage Pay details in case we need to trace your payment later. It also has membership, tells you the club name, team ID, membership season, the age group, the league, and when you play. And when you finished all that, you can actually keep a record of the following information, so you continue to the team and your membership, and you'll be able to see that you have successfully submitted, you've paid, the date you've paid it, and who's paid the membership. Once it comes to the SYFA via your league, so it's been accepted by your league, it's arrived at the Scottish Youth Football Association at Hampden, we would then check the details. Now, the important thing to remember here is there can be no officials on a team application that has not submitted a PVG. After the 1st of April, you will have to have had your PVG back. So if you have not submitted a PVG, you should have them removed from the team application. If they don't have the correct first aid certificate for a first aider, you should put in someone who does. If they don't have the correct level of coaching, then you should remove them and put in someone who does. Once they attain these qualifications, you can of course later on bring them down from the club level into team level to assist you. Because of the new rules whereby an official can be a registered official of 2 teams who play at different times and different days, your club would be able to help you out by giving you assistance and mentoring until they receive the correct qualifications. Once your application has been approved by the Scottish Youth FA, you will receive an email to that effect and will be able to download your insurance schedule from the approval page where your membership, back into membership, and you'll be able to download your insurance schedule and policy from there. You'll then also be able to go into players. Now this is the team secretary will be again able to go into the players tab on their membership, and there will be in this area of the page a button which will say take me to player registration. So you click the player registration and you'll come back to a screen like the first one where you will then put in your email address and your SFA password again, and that will bring you straight into the normal and player registration which you had in the past. Once your players are visible in the page, you'll be able to check in here to look at a player's details, and you'll be able also to cancel players direct on this page to save having to wait on cancellations taking place. So you'll view your player registrations here, you can cancel your player registrations here, you can eventually, once the system's set up, you'll be able to create a team line for different cup competitions as well, but at the moment if we get player registration in, that's the main thing. If you cannot log in, speak to your club secretary in the first instance and check that the club have completed their membership. This can stop you getting access at team level. If you've forgotten your password, use the reminder option on the front page or speak to your club secretary who can reset your password for you. If you have any other problems, please don't phone the office, but send us an email to syfaplayers@scottish-football.com or to syfaclubs@scottish-football.com and wait a reply. Please only send it to one of those addresses, and please don't send it to that address and phone, because that will hold up the process. Thank you very much. We hope this helped with your understanding of the system, and we hope you're able to get your players registered as soon as possible. Just to remind you, this is a brand new system and we are learning the system as well as you. Thank you.